Remember that feeling when you first unboxed your phone? It was incredible. Apps opened instantly. Swiping between screens was buttery smooth. It felt like you were holding a piece of the future, a device that could keep up with your every thought and tap. You'd show it off to friends, marveling at how quickly the camera launched, how seamlessly it handled multitasking. For a while, it was the perfect companion, a flawless tool that just worked. It was fast, responsive, a genuine joy to use every single day. But then, things started to change. It didn't happen overnight. It was a slow, gradual decline. An app takes an extra second to open. The keyboard lags for just a moment before your words appear. Scrolling through your social feed feels a little choppy. At first, you might brush it off as a one-time glitch, but those tiny hesitations add up and become impossible to ignore. It's a frustrating, almost universal tech experience. That pinnacle of tech feeling, it starts to feel old. Using the phone becomes a chore instead of a pleasure. You find yourself waiting for things that used to be instantaneous. The camera that once snapped open now takes its sweet time. You miss shots. You restart your phone more often, hoping a reboot will fix it. This slowdown is one of the most common complaints I hear. So what's actually going on here? Is it just in your head, or is your phone genuinely losing speed? Short answer, yes. Your phone is getting slower. It's not your imagination. But why? The reasons are more complex than you'd think. It's a combination of factors. Software running on your device and the hardware inside it. Understanding those factors is the first step to getting some of that speed back. One of the biggest reasons your phone starts to feel sluggish is software updates. Now, this sounds counterintuitive, right? Updates are supposed to be good. New features, security patches, improvements. And for the newest phones on the market, they are fantastic. Developers create these updates with the latest hardware in mind. Newest processors, most RAM, fastest components. Older phones don't have the same horsepower to run new software efficiently. New OS designed to use a powerful new engine. Install that OS on an older model, and it's going to struggle. It has to work harder, causing lag choppiness, slower performance, more complex animations. New features need more processing power. Older hardware can't keep up. New software can push old hardware to its limits. Then there are the apps themselves. Today's apps aren't the same as a year or two ago. New features, higher resolution graphics, more complex code. Take social apps, video stories, augmented reality filters, live streaming capabilities. Each addition makes the app more powerful and more demanding. Needs more RAM, needs more processing power. Apps get hungrier for resources. Your phone's supply gets stretched thin. RAM that was enough becomes a bottleneck. The processor now works overtime. App bloat happens across your device. Messaging, app browser, photo editor, they all grow more demanding over time. Cumulatively, this strains aging components and causes overall slowness. Let's talk about storage. Many people don't realize that a nearly full phone is often a slow phone. Your phone's operating system needs a bit of empty space to function properly. It uses this free space as a temporary scratch pad, virtual memory. It juggles tasks, manages files, and keeps things running smoothly. When storage is almost completely full with photos, videos, apps, downloaded files, you're taking away that essential breathing room. The system has to work much harder to find space, which can cause significant slowdowns. Imagine trying to work on a desk that is completely covered in papers. You'd have to constantly shuffle things around just to find a small, clear spot to write. That's essentially what your phone's processor is doing when its storage is maxed out. Tasks like opening apps, saving photos, or even just loading a web page can take longer. A good rule of thumb is to always try to keep at least 10 to 15% of your phone's storage free. Deleting old files and offloading photos can often make a surprisingly big difference in performance. Another critical piece of the puzzle is the battery. The lithium-ion battery in your phone is a consumable component. It degrades over time. With every charge cycle, its ability to hold a full charge and deliver peak power diminishes. As the battery ages and its health declines, it can no longer provide a consistent voltage, especially during demanding tasks like gaming and GPS. To prevent your phone from unexpectedly shutting down due to a sudden power drop, the operating system will sometimes intentionally slow down or throttle the processor. This throttling is a self-preservation mechanism. The phone's software detects that the battery can't handle a full power request, so it limits the processor's speed to ensure stability. While this prevents shutdowns, the side effect is noticeable lag. This became a major point of discussion a few years ago when it was discovered that some manufacturers were doing this without being fully transparent. So if your older phone suddenly feels much slower and also has poor battery life, there's a very good chance that the aging battery is the primary culprit behind the performance hit. Beyond the apps you are actively using, there's a whole lot happening in the background. Many apps continue to run processes even when you're not looking at them. They're checking for new messages. They're refreshing your social feeds. They're syncing files to the cloud. They're tracking your location. Each of these background processes consumes a slice of your phone's limited resources, both RAM and CPU cycles. When you first get your phone, you probably have just a handful of apps doing this. But over the years, you install more and more apps, and the number of background tasks multiplies. This slow accumulation of background activity can eventually overwhelm your phone. It's kind of like having too many browser tabs open on a computer. Eventually, everything starts to grind to a halt. Your phone is constantly dedicating a portion of its power to tasks you aren't even aware of, leaving fewer resources available for what you actually want to do. This is why, swiping back to an app you opened a few minutes ago might cause it to reload from scratch. The system had to close it to free up memory for all the background noise. Managing which apps are allowed to run in the background is key to reclaiming performance. This all leads to one of the most debated topics in tech. Is this slowdown intentional? Is it a case of planned obsolescence, where companies deliberately slow down old phones to push you to buy a new one? Or is it simply the unavoidable natural aging of a complex piece of technology? The truth, as it often is, probably lies somewhere in the middle. There have been confirmed cases where manufacturers throttled performance on devices with aging batteries. However, a majority of the slowdown can be attributed to the natural progression of technology. Software gets more demanding because new hardware makes it possible. Apps add features to stay relevant. Batteries are chemical components that will always degrade. It's not necessarily a conspiracy so much as a consequence of a fast-moving industry. New phones set a new performance bar, and the entire software ecosystem evolves to meet it, inevitably leaving older devices behind. It's a cycle of innovation that, unfortunately, has the side effect of making our once beloved devices feel obsolete over time. So, your phone is slow. Is it game over? Do you have to rush out and buy a new one? Not necessarily. There are several practical steps you can take to fight back against the slowdown and reclaim some of that lost performance. The first and easiest thing to do is a digital cleanup. Delete apps you no longer use. Each app takes up storage and may run in the background. Clear the cache for your most used apps. Clear browser cache, clear social app cache. Next, tackle your storage. Don't let it get close to full. Delete blurry photos, delete duplicate photos, delete old videos you don't need. Back up photos and videos to the cloud, then delete them from the device. Freeing up big storage can massively improve responsiveness. Check your device settings for software updates. Updates can strain older hardware. Updates also include performance improvements and bug fixes. If your phone is a few years old and its battery life is poor, The single most effective fix could be a battery replacement. A new battery gives you all-day battery life again. A new battery can stop the operating system from throttling the processor. For many people, a battery replacement can make an old phone feel almost new again, and it's far cheaper than buying a whole new device. You can get it done through the manufacturer or a reputable third-party repair shop. Ultimately, taking care of your digital devices is a lot like taking care of any other tool. Regularly clean up your storage, manage your apps, understand your hardware's limitations. Staying informed helps you make smarter decisions. A little bit of care goes a long way in keeping your tech feeling fast and fresh.